What's going on there, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the new survival instincts that is going to be coming in the new expansion Wolves of Mordor for the Lord of the Rings Online. This is going to be a brand new character progression system in a way that is going to hopefully try and reshape how Lord of the Rings Online does a lot of their landscape. Now, Lord of the Rings Online already does have the landscape difficulty. They're one of the first MMOs that ever put that system out there. But this is going to be something else that is going to continue to add more ways to go about your landscapes, especially within the new region. Currently, right now, just one thing to know about the survival instinct before we really dive into them is that they are only going to be active within the region that they're taking place. So for right now, with the Wolves of Mordor's expansion coming out, the only time that these survival instincts will be useful is in the Wolves of Mordor content, and you won't use them in any other region. So if you're somebody who maybe is still quite a ways away from level 160, this is just a video you can go ahead and ignore and skip until you get to that point. But then you can come back to this video maybe probably wouldn't recommend coming back to this video because it's more of a preview, and I'm sure there's going to be a more in-depth guide to what the survival instinct system is going to look like once it actually comes out, and I will hopefully be able to have some more information on that when that actually happens. So, now, what exactly are survival instincts? There's an entire article about survival instincts that is on the Lotro website, so I will have that linked down in the description below so that way you can read it over. We're basically just going to be summarizing kind of what is going to be coming from the Wolves of Mordor and what the survival instincts are going to look like without going into a ton of like the nitty-gritty that is involved within the survival instincts. So, survival instincts are basically a set of skills and tactics that are passed down by the peoples of Drawgard, which are the new region that we're going to be in Mordor. That's what Drawgard is. That's really all that you need to know about that. But basically, through their experience that they have in their region of Middle-earth, they are willing to share their secrets with new adventurers that are passing through their territory to be able to help them. Now, with this, as you adventure through Drawgard, there will be new abilities and active skills, tactical responses, and some character enhancements that will complement your class strengths, as well as open up new possibilities. So, this is just going to be a brand new way that you are going to be able to build relationships within the region's inhabitants, and then through that, you're going to gain additional abilities based on the relationships that you have built with the Drawgard. Now, there's one thing to note, this is completely separate from the neighbor system that is going to be coming. I have a different video on that that will also be linked in the description below, so if you're looking for the neighbor system, that is a completely separate system within the new expansion that is not the survival instinct system. So, one thing to know as well is every single set that you will earn through the survival instincts is server-wide. So once you unlock it on one character, you will have it unlocked across all of your characters, which is really nice because then you don't have to try and just power through everything, especially if it's the same quests and stuff over and over. You don't have to kind of rehash out old stuff, especially if you're somebody who has multiple characters at cap and are going to be kind of doing this all at the same time. So, basically how this is going to work, you are going to be encountering certain people within certain regions, and then once you are there, they will introduce you to their way of life. You're basically going to be learning how they move around in the region and then taking the skills that they have and go through that same area. And basically, you're just going to be expanding all of this kind of stuff through doing a lot of the stuff that Lord of the Rings Online already does well, handling the landscape stuff. You'll be questing, you'll be doing exploration, treasure hunting, crafting, bartering, all of that kind of stuff that you do throughout your normal leveling process is how you will build these survival instincts. And then as you build more survival instincts and build more of those, then more become unlocked to you, and that's all going to be found. You can see it through this UI that is the work in progress UI that SSG has put together for people to be able to kind of see that as you get certain lessons and tactics and things like that, you can kind of equip them, and this is in your own trait tree. These are survival traits that you will get, and there are 4 different types. There's tactics, there's lessons, skills, and enhancements. Each of them are going to be very unique and provide a bunch of different buffs and things like that. There are 9 tactics that you can get, 3 lessons, 3 skill sets, and 16 enhancements. So each type of survival instinct is going to have its own very different setup. So even if you unlock every single survival instinct like on your main toon, you might not use a lot of them, but they will be useful for future toons that will go up to that area. So certain things that might be really good for a champion won't be good for a lore master. You're not going to want to... You get to have a say in how you build and customize a lot of these survival instincts that you're going to get. It looks like to me that with what Standing Stone Games are really trying to push out is trying to provide a bigger variety in gameplay from the different types of content that we get in Lord of the Rings Online. Especially as Middle-earth continues to expand, you can kind of find yourself in a bit of a hole where you're doing just the same thing but different, the layout's different. And this is just a way that Wolves of Mordor is really trying to separate itself from the previous expansions. And I do think that this does provide a great way to do that. And these will also, this will also help to just kind of change up the flow of gameplay than what we've normally seen for the gameplay loop in Lotro. And I think that's going to be something that's really cool and be really beneficial. So another thing about these survival instincts is that they do provide a advantage in group-based content. So if you are doing like dungeons or you're doing raids, things like that, there are going to be some advantages doing some of the Wolves of Mordor content with these survival instincts. So you are really going to want to prioritize building these survival instincts as you progress with your characters once Wolves of Mordor drops. It's not just something that once you get to that content, you're going to want to do it, like fly through it or something, or just be at level cap and be like, okay, whatever, I don't care about this new stuff, let's go into raids. These are going to be more useful for your raids. These are going to be helpful for your endgame dungeons. This is a new way to reshape how the endgame is going to function in Lotro, and I do think this is a great step in the right direction. So, we're going to look at each of the different things based around this article and kind of talk about what they are going to be, and kind of give an idea of what we're going to be looking at with these survival instincts. So first off, we're going to have tactics. Tactics are reactive. So this is going to be something that you are probably not going to be activating on your own. Each tactic is going to be triggered by actions in combat according to the website, such as attacking enemies, healing allies, or suffering incoming attacks. So each tactical response can do different things, such as damage, restore health, buff, or buff allies and yourself, or debuff enemies. So this is something that you can learn through the survival instincts, and then you can use them to give you some in mid-combat buffs and changes to be able to really help you out without having to worry about activating another skill or adding a new skill upon your rotation. Now, how this will differ from the lessons, because the lessons are a separate tactic that's there, and that is the... You will use lessons to activate powerful abilities, providing unique advantages. So it looks like the lessons are going to be your more active abilities. That looks like there's going to be a lesson that is going to be really helpful for tanking, that is going to lure them forward, working almost like an additional taunt, which for any tanks, I'm sure they're always going to be happy with that. Then there's going to be possible better treasure, or you can summon a wolfhound pack. A lot of different ways to be able to give you more assistance. So I'm going to be anticipating that the content within Wolves of Mordor is going to be just naturally a little bit more difficult because of the way that it will function. It will be really difficult for players to go without leveling these survival instincts, based just on how the lessons are going to provide you a wolfhound pack to be a supporting set of allies, and all very, very strong. But there are 3 that you can learn, but you can only have one of these active at a time. And then there are the 3 skill sets. Survival skill sets are going to be special consumable items that you're going to be crafting through local resources or bartering, and you can learn every skill set, but you can only have one skill set slot at a time. And so basically this is just a new set of abilities that will work within your rotation. This will give you the ability to fight harder, longer, more efficiently among your fellows. Basically just continuing to build on that strength, making your character stronger, and really continuing to build off of what the survival instincts are going to be. They're just going to continue to provide you more buffs as well as more abilities. And then there's 16 unique enhancements. These enhancements will modify your previous survival instincts. So you can spend a ton of time building all of your survival instincts, and then you want to complement them with the right set of enhancements to be able to really progress forward and give your character that final edge that you need to tackle the new expansion. Now, we don't know a ton of what all this new stuff is going to look like. We still don't know like what the exact survival instinct abilities are going to be, and it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of these abilities aren't shown until they show up either on Bull Roarer or until just the expansion drops in general. But for the most part, this is just kind of a summary of what to expect with the new system. I think there are a lot of really cool opportunities within this system to be able to really push characters forward and provide additional character sets and growth without just having it be an RNG grind fest for drops and just focusing on gearing, but rather focusing on the relationships. I do genuinely think that Lotro is wanting to push more towards a relationship and friendship style of progression versus just purely gearing and buffing in that regard, to really just kind of prioritize the importance of fellowship and friends within Tolkien's world that was such a big part in his stories. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this look into the survival instinct system. If you guys have any questions, unfortunately, not going to have any answers for those until the Woes of Mordor expansion drops, but you can always join the Lotro Discord just to be able to talk things over with the community, theorize about what things are going to look like and how that will really kind of change the flow of gameplay. But that'll be it for this video. As always, I do want to give a huge shout out to all of my Ko-Fi supporters. You guys are the ones that help to make this channel possible. If you would like to support on Ko-Fi, you can do so through the link down in the description below. And with that, you are loved, you are valued, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And we will see you right back here in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.